I'm your host with the most, Welcome to 23. You're joining me for Desire and Decorum, Book 1, Chapter 5, The Road to London. The morning after your father's big announcement. Your grandmother finds you immediately after breakfast. I knew from the moment he brought you here that my son would let Edgewater go to Mr. Mulcaster. I knew he'd want to keep it in our bloodline. But only if I marry a man of rank. Well, yes. You can't hope to hold the estate against the Countess without support. What can the Countess do to stop me? Oh, anything. She'll attack your reputation, try to convince your suitors that you're exactly the uncultured ninny they'd expect. So you must show yourself to be the most courtly, graceful, knowledgeable, and charming young lady in all of London. I will never be able to compete. Make you proud. Of course you will. You are Lady Bella of Edgewater, and all of London will soon see that. The marriage market is the game, Bella. You just have to learn the rules. Let us begin with your potential rivals. Other families have daughters debuting this season as well. The Holloways, the Exeters, the Parsons. You turn and see Miss Parson in the doorway, a wide smile on her face. Apologies for the intrusion. Miss Woods said you were in here, and I took it upon myself to join you. Of course, we are preparing for Bella's debut. Now, pay attention, my dear. You need to know who you'll meet in London. Alfred Holloway is the Viscount of Lockdale. His daughter Felicity will be coming from their estate at Billington Hall to make her debut this season. Miss Parsons settles beside you and whispers in your ear. Alfred Holloway is an arrogant prig who looks like an Easter ham studded with cloves. You stifle a giggle. Something to say, Bella? I'm sorry, Lady Grandmother. Miss Holloway's family is also tied by marriage to the Earl of Barrymore. Oh, or the Earl of Barrymore. His bed has more traffic than Drury Lane. Bella, are you paying attention? Who did I say was related to the Earl of Barrymore? Oh, you would do this. The Hollyways. Grandmother looks surprised and gives a sly smile. Yeah, I still multitask, okay? It's called having a brain. Was that a lucky guess, or were you actually listening? I was listening, I promise. Never mind you. You simply won't hear a word I say when your friend is here, will you? I'm afraid not, my lady. I am a terrible distraction. You work with her, then. Bella should practice her embroidery as well. Grandmother sweeps from the room, and Miss Parsons collapses onto the seat to giggle. She takes both your hands, pulling you down beside her. Oh, Lady Bella, I hope your grandmother can forgive me. I just couldn't contain myself. Heir to Edgewater. Don't you wish I had a brother you could just marry so we could be sisters in truth? Actually, I would rather I could marry you. Miss Parsons pulls back, startled. Her eyelashes flutter. You cannot mean that. Would it not be a better world if we could choose whoever moves our heart, without regard to fortune or anything else? Miss Parsons takes your hand again, and you feel the slight tremble in her palm. Would that were the world we lived in. She pulls back her hand and turns away, blush creeping up her neck. It's too nice a day to work indoors. Let's go to the gardens. You and Miss Parsons settle into the gardens with your embroidery frames and baskets of yarn. Ah, I've never understood why my mother and Countess always so indoors. A gust of wind lifts her thread and threatens to carry it away before she pulls it back down. Maybe they don't like the wind running off with their yarn. Can you just imagine a countess running after a thread, her skirts lifted and her scrawny chicken legs going after as fast as they can? You both laugh. Miss Parsons peeks over the top of your embroidery frame. I love your sample. I can tell that you've been practicing. My grandmother says a lady must have perfect embroidery to succeed in the marriage market. Pah! Do they never think how miserable they make it sound when they call it that? Well, the marriage market will be insulting, exciting. Well, figuring it's a old, outdated tradition, insulting. I know exactly what you mean. I don't want these gentlemen asking themselves if they like my fortune instead of if they like me. Precisely. Miss Parsons sighs. While Harry was alive, my parents never had a reason to put me in the marriage market. We were set. You miss him? Yes, I was never in love with Harry, but I was fond of him, and him me. What if I cannot find even that again? She goes quiet as you both think about the decisions that await you in London. A few days later. Briar's helping you to dress for your journey. Oh, I can't believe we're going to London. I thought you'd find a husband there too. You'd be heartbroken to leave Mr. Woods. I thought for sure to find you sobbing on your bed this morning or writing longing letters to your dear Mr. Woods. Ha! Briar blushes and holds up her ink-stained fingers. I may have left a little note for him to find once we're gone. I knew it. But I wouldn't miss the chance to go to London. Let him miss me a little. You glance at the clock and jump to your feet. I'd better get dressed. We're supposed to leave within the hour. Quickly to the diamond closet. I've already loaded most of your trunks, but you must pick what to wear for the journey. For sitting in a carriage. For meeting fellow travelers along the road. What if your future husband is riding to London right now? She leads you over to the wardrobe. What if he isn't? I found the most darling riding habit. Anyone who sees you in it will immediately need to know you better. Meyer pulls out a military-style riding jacket in Edgewater's colors of navy and gold. You try it on. She sets an antique ivory brooch at your neckline. Where the habit forming? No. Okay, so while that is very pretty and very traditional to the day, I think I'll just wear this. Right. Might as well not ruin anything new on the journey. You can change when we get there. No. No. You look perfect. Your father and the Dowager Countess are already outside waiting for you. Do you need me to go down to them? I'll finish getting everything packed and meet you and Miss Parsons in the carriage. Your father and grandmother are waiting in the warm sunshine just outside the door. Ah, Bella, I cannot say how pleased I am to have you represent our family in London. I wish you the best of fortune in finding a gentleman of status. Finding him, dazzling him, and reeling him in. I wish I could come with you. You're not coming to London? Not right away. I have a lot to handle on the estate at the moment. And would prefer not to leave the Countess alone right after dropping that, surprise. I would rather stay here with you. Ah, Bella, I wish that we had more time together, but it will be easier to hold your claim with the husband of influence. I just learned who I am. It's hard to think of my trying myself to another so soon. I know. and I would not ask you to bind yourself to someone who does not please you. A marriage of advantage, but without love, can be bleak. Speaking of the Countess Henrietta comes from the stable. Without a glance at you, she directs a comment to your father over her shoulder. Edmund and his fiancée have gone already to London. I'm certain they've already made many valuable connections. Sweeps into the house, slamming the door behind. Oh my god, if that's all we get to see of you this book, I'm happy as hell. Mr. Morrowcaster and Miss Sutton will be in London with me? She sent them to turn people against you, but... Your grandmother pauses, considering. They may not be as loyal as she thinks, if you treat them with kindness. Oh, another gimmick of kindness. You might still turn them against her. One or both. I'll try. I mean, if she were my mother, I'd want to rebel. You've more fire in you than Edmund Malcaster, that's for sure. I've known him since he was a little boy. He's never spoken back to her once in that time. A flurry of hoof beats by the stables let you know that your carriage is ready. Your grandmother calls to you as you start to walk over. I've sent for word for one of your grooms to meet you and Miss Parsons at Aldergate in London, then take you to the townhouse. Now go. At the stables, Mr. Harper is checking the fit of the harness on the matched grey horses. Good morning, Lady Bentley. It seems I'll be driving you and the ladies to the London today. First time? Indeed. You see the injured horse from the other night tied to the back of the carriage and pat her neck smoothly. She remembers you. I knew you two would have a special connection. Let me guess, it's a horse we'll end up owning by diamonds, right? I remember you too, beautiful. Is she coming with us? How is her leg? Oh, she's walking fine again, but the Countess doesn't think she's fit to pull an Edgewater carriage. She wants me to sell her in London. I'm just calling it right now. How do I do these things? I don't know, because of predictability of greed. Oh no. Unless you want to keep her for yourself, she would be a wonderful riding horse. Adopt the horse yourself and know. I'm sure we'll find a good buyer for her. Well, I'd best get the rest of the baggage loaded. We'll be leaving in a moment. Mr. Harper climbs into the driver's box. Into the carriage, my lady. We're off to London. I wonder if they're actually going to give him the ability to be a love interest. Sat down beside Briar across the seat from Miss Parsons as the carriage pulls through Edgewater's gates and onto the green-lined country road. I know they can be lovers in that time and era. Several hours later, the carriage pulls to a halt on the three-lined dirt road. Mr. Harper leans back and calls to you and the ladies. Looks like this is a good spot to stop for luncheon. Oh, pretty. Moments later, Mr. Harper has laid a blanket on the soft grass and unpacked a lunch of bread, cold sliced meats, and crisp apples. This looks delicious. The Dowager Countess even sent lemonade. My favorite. You all fall ravenously on the food. So, what exactly does this marriage market consist of anyway? Surely Bella isn't actually going to be auctioned off. Oh, the girls from the best families compete to catch the eye of a man from an even better family, and most men try not to be caught at all. Why ever not? I assume... they're unimpressed with their choices. I'll bet they don't want a girl whose only interest in them is their fortune. It's a game. They play it because they're bored. Is it different outside the gentry? Aye. When we marry, we're looking for someone who'll make our work lighter, and bring us happiness. If you've no money to gain, you might as well have the joy of it. Well, when it's not because the bride is already expecting, that is. Everyone laughs. You stand, wiping the last crumbs from your mouth. I'm not ready to get back in the carriage again. I want to stretch my legs a little. Maybe take a look at the lake. Would you like Miss Parsons to join you for 20 diamonds? That sounds wonderful. I should love to join you. Enjoy our freedom before we're under the eye of everyone in London. As long as you're sure you can keep up with me. Miss Parsons winks at you, but Mr. Harper scans the road with a worried expression. Are you sure you wouldn't prefer me to escort you in case there's trouble? Or you need a big strapping young man? What? What kind of trouble? Mr. Harper leans closer, murmuring softly in your ear. This could be our last chance to walk alone together for a while. I should like to take this time together if we can. Again, how do I predict these things? I just do. I just literally do. Okay? I just do. I suspect I shall have little enough time to myself once we reach London. I'd best take it now. You walk into the dewy meadow, holding your skirts above the grass, and remember running free in the fields of Grovershire. I wish you could see me now, Mama. Several hours later. Look, guys! Moving scenery in the back! You're dozing in the carriage with Briar and Miss Parsons. Mr. Harper's voice calls down from the driver's seat. You awake, ladies. We're almost in London. Oh, hello. Oh, two ninja sneezes. Alright. Oh, my apologies. Already? You look out the window and see. It's so huge. London is massive, busy, smelly. Actually, it was all three of those back in the day. I'll go with massive, though. I've never seen anything like this in my life. I thought Edgewater was big. There's near 1.5 million people living here. I think that was before the Black Plague, though. It must be the grandest city in the world. I think that's around the time frame we're in. I could be wrong. Suddenly the carriage slows and Mr. Harper calls down to you. Was someone supposed to meet us here? You look around. There's no one waiting in Edgewater's livery. No one stopping or looking at you at all. Does anyone know how to get to the townhouse from here? The carriage is silent. You start climbing down. Bella, what are you... We're lost. We should... Yeah. Hi, do you know where a townhouse is? There's plenty in London. Go explore. What's the point of waiting here when there's a whole city at our feet? You take a few steps away from the carriage, looking around for any landmarks or respectable-looking passerbyers. Faintly, you hear the sound of hoofbeats behind you, but they fade into the general din of the city. Lady Bella, look out! You whirl around and see a massive gold-decked coach barreling straight towards you. Jump out of the way. You jump to the side, narrowly avoiding landing in a puddle. The driver frantically reins in the horses at the last second. They pull up, snorting. Ah! Through the coach's window, you glimpse a man's shocked face as your knees buckle with relief. He leaps from the door and offers his strong arm and support. Oh, whenever they cue this music, you know this is who you're supposed to be with, right? Oh. If you wanted to meet me, you could have said so.
Well, then I'd offer you greetings and 1,000 apologies, my lady. I would no sooner run down a woman like you in the streets than I would shatter a priceless mosaic.
Well, then I shall set myself at ease that you did not aim at me on purpose.
The man bows with a flourish. I know it is bad form here, but not to wait to be introduced, but I am a foreigner, and may take some liberties, no? I am Imperial Prince Hama, envoy to England from my cousin the Sultan.
The Sultan?
Yes, His Imperial Majesty Muhammad II, Caliph of Islam, Sultan of Ottoman Empire, and the custodian of 2 holy mosques. As his ambassador, I am delighted to make your acquaintance. Your handsomeness? Your highness. Mmm. Mmm. Leave me alone, ninja sneeze.
Alright, let's go with... Figuring he's all about titles and stuff, let's just play it safe. Your Highness. You drop your knee to the best curtsy you can manage without dipping your skirts into the muck.
Such formalities are unnecessary.
I am Lady Bella of Edgewater.
It's a maid's face lights in recognition. Ah, then you're the Earl of Edgewater's daughter. You nod cautiously. I have worked with your father in Parliament. He is a great man. Perhaps I could offer you a ride back to his townhouse.
Thank you, yes. I have a carriage right...
Your man can follow me. But tell me, you would not delay me the opportunity to spend these few minutes with you? To apologize for the injury I nearly caused?
Glance up at Mr. Harper, who's been following the whole exchange closely. He gives a tiny nod. You are right. I will not deny you that.
Prince Hamid's coach is comfortable, with the plump cushions and well-sprung wheels that hardly jolt on the rutted streets. I have been posted in London for the better part of 2 years. It is the greatest pleasure to serve my sultan by traveling the world.
Where else have you been?
Before coming to London, I spent 3 years in Athens, 1 at the court of Caesar Alexander. It is my aim to see as much of the world as I can.
You've been so many places. I would love to travel the world. London is far enough. Let's ask that one.
Azamad gives you a sly smile. I have fallen in love with many things. The golden columns of Tsar's Winter Palace, sunrise on the Acropolis, the slow sail down the Thames on the first day of spring. You meet your eyes boldly, but never has a woman claimed my heart. Not yet.
So, what are you doing in London?
I am tasked with negotiating a treaty with Parliament. Trade and borders for the most part.
That sounds important.
Yes, tremendously important, but very dull.
Prince Hamid winks, making you laugh.
But I am fortunate that Parliament moves with all the speed of a glacier, so I have vast amount of time to fill for myself.
By running down young ladies in the street?
Only today. Perhaps it is more something I should try more often. Should it always introduce me to someone so lovely?
The carriage pulls up in front of a stately townhouse. Prince Hamid opens the door, helps you out.
I suppose I must bid you farewell now. This is your father's home, and you will wish to see it.
Thank you for the ride, Your Highness. The prince bows with an exaggerated frown.
Lady Bella, I am a heart sore that our only time ends so soon. Now that we are here, I wish I had led you through half the city before we stopped.
Are you suggesting you would mislead me?
Never. Only take the most roundabout route so I could enjoy your company that much longer.
Surely you have more interesting people clamoring to talk to you.
No, I find you fascinating, Lady Bella of Edgewater. I have met so few English ladies, and none have been like you. I must get to know you better.
I hope we all get to meet again soon.
Walk with me now, Lady Bella. We are both outsiders to London. Let me show you the city. Have a moment longer to bask in your beauty, Diamond. Ah, so that's, are we up to our 4 now? Outfit, Parsons, Hamid, nope, 3.
I'm sorry, Your Highness, but I have friends in my own carriage who are also strangers here. I cannot leave them to go inside alone.
Ah, you are kind and gallant then, as well as beautiful. I shall simply have to make an effort to see you another time. The Prince walks you to the steps of the townhouse where Briar and Miss Parsons are waiting. I trust you are here for the season?
Indeed.
Then I shall certainly see you again. The dances and balls of London season are my favorite part of being stationed here. The Prince lifts your hand in his and plants a kiss on the first 2 knuckles, lingering for a brief moment. Until we meet again. Briar and Miss Parsons look at you with burning curiosity as the Prince remounts his carriage and drives off.
And who was that tall, dark Addison? Or Adonis? Shh, Miss Dally. I believe that Prince Hamid of Ottoman Empire.
She gives you a slightly jealous look.
He seems to have taken quite well to you. Hush, he was only being a gentleman.
The 3 of you mount the stairs and push the door open to see Mr. Mulcaster just coming down the stairs. He jumps in surprise as he sees you. Lady Bella, you're here.
Why did no one meet my carriage in Aldersgate on the Dowager Countess's command?
I never heard of about anything. Your eyes fall on a piece of paper clutched in his hand. You take it from him and read.
Send a groom to Aldersgate on April the 3rd.
Mr. Mulcaster abruptly snatches the letter back. That is...
Clearly you received my lady grandmother's letter. So why did you leave us lost and stranded in London? Did your mother intend I never make it here at all?
Yep, you don't have many excuses, do you? Next time on Desire and Decorum, it's time for your London debut. Can you make your mark on society, or Mr. Mulcaster sabotage your chances? Look, I'm so proud, choices. You only did 3 diamond choices instead of 4. Wow, you guys must have really restrained yourselves. I'm proud. Anyway, Prince Hamid, what are your thoughts? I really enjoyed him. He's alright. Interesting character. So at least they're giving you the opportunity. So we've got Miss Parsons. Excuse me. Man. Miss Parsons is a love interest. We have Harper, which is a love interest. We have Prince Hamid as a love interest. So we've got 3. Is that our 3, or will Pixelberry be adding a 4th? Because remember, we're supposed to also go for this debut where there may be more than one, but figuring how original Pixelberry is, these are probably our 3 love interests we've landed on. So, I wouldn't be really surprised. With that being said, do stay tuned for Across the Void. That one is coming up. I believe there's 2 chapters, so stay tuned for those. And head down description below. Links to social media, our Discord, and if you like to support me and my content, you can also go to our Twitch. I live stream choices every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you can always join us live. And without further ado, I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.